Hey there, and welcome back to the lovely land of the Lotus SMP, and welcome back specifically to the Kingdom of Lhasa. I'm in love with this place. I've spent over 200 hours in this world, making and expanding this incredible kingdom, and today we're going to go on a bit of a world tour. I'm going to show everything to you guys that I've made so far, and tell you a little bit about the backstory and the lore and all of the little details that we have in this kingdom. And there totally are a ton of them too. So if you're down for that, consider leaving a like on this video, and it's definitely worth leaving on in the background and maybe getting some work done if you're doing some Minecraft stuff as well. Definitely let me know. This is always where I start off here, the entrance to our incredible kingdom. And you'll see very quickly that we have a very unique type of lantern. And I think that this is actually my lantern. I don't think that anyone else has made a design just like this. And so you could say I'm very proud of it. At the entrance to our kingdom, we have this awesome looking staircase where we have a variety of mossy and stone blocks here. And I love how it came out. It's nice and smooth. It doesn't have too much variation to it, but it's definitely organic feeling. And it blends in with the countryside or the landscape very well, in my personal opinion. But down below here, we actually have a jump pad too, which I ended up getting from Cobb. It says just stand in the middle, which we can do, and you can see that we're incredibly shot up in the air, and we don't take any fall damage either. And I think it's so cool. But I'll try to take you guys a little bit in chronological order when it comes to showing you guys these builds, but we'll also kind of just follow the path that I've made, and I get to show you guys all the little interesting parts here. And so one of the things that I really like the most about this build in particular is the side that we have. We have all these lightning rods that we have stacked in like a cool custom order to make this design, and I really do like having like them jut out. They do, it's not totally realistic, but it gives like a really awesome accent piece to like a steampunk feeling. And I don't know, I just went with it. Very expensive builds, no question about that. And you can see it because we have quartz right here and then iron blocks as decoration. So material collecting has definitely taken a long time. And we have diorite, and one thing that you'll see throughout our kingdom here is that we have tons and tons and tons of two tall flowers, lilacs and rose bushes that go around, and I don't know, it makes this area really pop out. You wouldn't even think that we'd be building in a birch forest, in my personal opinion. Yeah, we can continue on up here into our first ever base that we made in this area. And this is our starter home, and I never end up going up here anymore, just because my storage is around the corner here, but we'll get to go inside it and I'll show everything to you guys. But we might as well start. We have our sign right here that says slips, and we can head inside the door. And you'll see that we have a very, very special commodity to me right here. This is Yogi Man's head, and Yogi is one of the reasons that I joined Lotus in the first place. But I think that he's been busy with other real life stuff. And so we haven't been able to see too much of him, and I don't think we will be seeing too much of him this season. And so having a mob head of him, not many people have that. He was only with us for the first like week or two, maybe. And we get in the way with the banner right there. But, a very big inspiration for me joining Lotus in the first place. And if we ever wanted to make like a black market or anything like that, we could definitely use his head. But one thing that you'll notice about a lot of the decoration pieces that we have is that they're my actual tools that I've used. Some of them, I think that if we go over here, maybe it doesn't show. Yeah, we have the names for the tools too. And I don't know, it's been nice to not use mending too much and be able to look back and be like, yeah, I went through these, and I don't have specific memories of them anymore. Like, they all blend in. They're all, diamond axes that are enchanted. Maybe this one, because it specifically names Madera, which means wood in Spanish. And so, maybe that one stands out a little bit more, but it's really cool to have them around here. And made sure that the paintings ended up blending into the wall that we have, and just a little bit of extra accent pieces. This was my original storage area, but we're not doing anything with it anymore. It's just nice, and this has a lot of the most important items that I have. One block of ancient debris, Swift Sneak, which I think was given to me by Pug, and then feather falling boots right there. We probably don't need the diamond boots, but it's still, I don't know, it's cool. And I definitely get way better with interiors as we continue along here. But we can head up here, and I don't want any eggs in my hands. We can throw those guys away did someone leave chickens in here? That's definitely one thing about playing with other people. But we have some armor stands and even more of these diamond axes here, and even more paintings and some bookshelves too. And I don't know, this was my first time actually using armor stands, and I like how it came out. I'm definitely a fan of it. A diamond axe that we ended up using up here. It looks like it doesn't have a name on it, but we can continue up. I like this staircase that we have. I kind of made it, I made it work. And it heads up to, someone definitely chickened me. Oh man. But this is a bedroom. I can't even get in here. This has never happened to me before. That's very funny. With another armor stand and some more paintings and a nice little bed area here. Man, I am racking up on the eggs already. We can head up to the top floor here, which, as you can tell, gives us a really wonderful look at some of the rest of the kingdom, although it totally expands very far along this way too. But man, this area it's so good looking. I really, really love being in here. And this area, as you can see with the two lily pads that we have here, used to be an area that we called the FFC, the Fish Fight Club, here on the Lotus SMP. And we'll get back to doing that. We have an idea for the area all along in this direction here. If I looked into the map right here, all of this area has potential for a big build for the FFC in the future, but just for the aesthetic at the moment, it was a temporary build to do something fun before all of the server ended up fighting the end fight. And we took on the dragon 20 times, just all in one session. And we did what we called a naked end fight, which is something I'd never done before, where we only had some sticks and a bow and some arrows and no armor, and just took on the dragon and all of the end crystals the best that we could. And it was a total blast. Maybe one of the most fun times I've ever had playing Minecraft. And it totally changed the way that I looked about how I play the game too. And so, as you can see, tons of incredible builds that we have in this area. But we can head on down, try to dodge the chicken eggs as much as we can. And man, I wonder how long they've been there, and I've had absolutely no idea. But as we head up over in this direction, you'll see that we have an awesome pond, a custom pond that was part of this first build, along with fitting it into the environment and making an incredible arch. These things I think I did at the same time period, and so I kind of put these two things together, although you'd be like, well, this is a build and then this is a different thing. I think these things happen pretty like close to one another time frame wise. But I really like how this came out. And we have some play right here, just holding up the flowers. And I really like that, along with some more of these lanterns here. And my favorite thing about this pond definitely is something that happened after the fact. But you can see that me and Cobb are just hanging out, lounging at the pond here. And I can't remember if Cobb's arm was on me in the first place, but I don't know. I like it. And I've had such a blast playing with him on Lotus. So a really good testament to that, I would say. But we can continue in this direction here. And one thing that took me, I don't know, maybe like 2 hours or so, is this little pressure plate thing that we have right here. And it's one of my favorite things about this area, no doubt. But we have to go through here, and then this mail lantern will flash twice, right? Which is fun. I wanted to just have it do it once and have a sound with it, but I am not good at redstone whatsoever, and not too much mail. I get the occasional one from Cobb every once in a while, but it's definitely obscure, but I just love hearing that sound and seeing the light and all that sort of stuff. So I'm a really big fan of how it came out. But as we head up in this direction here, we have our second build of our incredible kingdom of Lhasa. It's a storage building. And once again, in that steampunk sort of style, one of the things that I really like about it is that we have this, once again, similar design that we have up here where the balcony is. And again, just what a good looking build, I would say. But we ended up making it even more steampunky. And when I made this in creative mode, I was like, okay, I'm going to go with this vibe. And the idea is to wax all of these and have them in their unoxidized form at some point. But I need a nice honey farm in order to do that. And I'm very excited to experiment with honey and bees at some point in time. So I can't wait to do that. It's just I haven't gotten to doing it. So every single oxidized copper trapdoor that you see right here will change to be unoxidized. And I'm excited for you guys to see the original intention here. Although everything looks incredible as it is, just imagine the gradient even more popping out here with with everything what's it called, unoxidized. But one thing I also really like about this is that I ended up going and doing archaeology for the first time on stream, and we have these sherds, I think they're called, in the pots right here, and I definitely want to get more over time and fill even more of the area, because especially with shaders, this looks incredible. And the extra details, I mean, it pops out, and I love it. But over in this area here, we can continue on in, and you'll see that everything for the most part is like pretty organized, but I don't have much more storage. Although if we head up in this direction, we have not only 2 but 3 floors right here, and everything is organized, which is pretty painstaking if you think how long it takes just to go up and down. And what if you forget to put one material away and it's on the 3rd floor? So we'll get along to building a better storage area at some point, but it's definitely not this point. I have many other ideas in mind. But I forget, we ended up also doing this area right here, and we made the well, and we have a little statue of Draconis right here, which I love. He's reaching for a goat horn that's in an invisible item frame that I got from a different stream hanging out with you guys, and that one really stands out for me. I've never had a goat horn before, and so I love it, and kind of just came up with this design off the top, and I like how it looks. We can see that it's totally realistic. We actually do have water in this area, and it's all about the little details, you could say. But I guess aside from just going in chronological order, things that have happened to expand this area over here is that we have another little pond right here, which should have some fish in it, although I don't see them anymore, which is kind of a bummer. I put them in pretty recently, honestly. But the path expands over here to my first ever custom birch tree. I like how it turned out for my first time, honestly. We have some diorite walls right here, and they kind of add into the texture, and I definitely need to get better about adding leaves and definitely all the things about this, but I'm a fan of how it turned out. I'm happy with it. And it leads really nice into this challenge tower, which I got the idea from Inca Raids. He's a good buddy of mine, and we've been collaborating on ideas, and Some of the things that you will see in the world tour right here will have come directly from inspiration that I got from him in making this tower and having challenges. And so the first task was to make a graveyard. And the second one that we've already done too is to automate something at your base, which is really fun. And every single time, although I've made the list, I randomize it and then I choose the top one from the list every single time. And that kind of keeps it fresh for me. Although I might know some of the ideas of what could I build or could be challenged with, every single time I have to go with the top one. And even if I would like to do something else, I'm going to go and try my best to do something new. And it's been a good, once again, challenge for me. And I've really been enjoying that. But we have another stone pathway that nice winds up. It's a little bit more kind of like, mountain-like and not as smooth. And I'm okay with that. And it leads and kind of ends this area of our kingdom where we have a tree felling area where there will definitely be builds, or at least one big one, maybe another storage house in this area, or maybe a bakery. One of the two here. And I'm very excited for that to happen, but that's definitely a long ways away because I have other ideas. We're going to be expanding, and one of my favorite views for sure is from right here. You can see that around our main build and our storage house, we have tons of too tall flowers, and then just awesome wheat. And, again, not a bad first at bat for a custom birch tree. I'm okay with it. I've never really done anything like it. But it winds around right here. I think that this area really is kind of like a game play area. Like, it leads you through the map of my base pretty organically. There aren't really any side paths, right? But it leads really wonderfully into one of my favorite builds. Maybe my favorite build, which is our tavern that we have here. It's the Jeffrey's Tavern, and I think I need to change the name of the sign. But this is where I really started, I think, taking even more of a different perspective when it came to building things, and really tried experimenting. You can see that we have iron bars and then some end rods, which, again, very expensive builds that we have here. I wanted to switch up the area, so we have some carrots, and I really like having pots all over. You'll see them within the farmlands over here too. Just even nestled deep within here, right? Like, you would never even notice that, but it's actually, fitting really well into the sight line. And so the detail, as you can see, it's just, I'm really proud of it. But really taking a step up on the building here. And it continues over into this area. We have even more of these lanterns here. And, we did change the sign. We have the Jeffrey's Tavern. And we'll talk more about the lore of the Jeffreys and their place here in the backstory in just a second. But I really have been liking using quartz for a little item frame decoration piece. And it started with this build too. And I think it's kind of just a theme for the kingdom with the build palette that we have. But we can quickly hit that button and head inside to a wonderful looking tavern. Once again, we have more of our diamond tools for extra decoration. But if you take a look at this area, it is my favorite interior by far that I've ever done. And we have clearly like a little food storage and cooking area right here, and washing dishes with a washcloth right here. This is a little pub sort of dining area where we have chairs with slabs and trapdoors and end rods that are providing a steampunk sort of light source. We have basalt, I think smooth basalt facing up, and then chiseled puff. And then I don't know, there's so many different puff variants. I'll let you guys take a look at them. And some mud bricks coming in with it too. Along with, this is clearly more of like a vegetarian friendly sort of interior, and I really like how it looks. But we have some candles, I'm just giving that nice ambiance and wonderfully placed paintings and item frames, in my personal opinion. But we can head up to this area, which is much more of like the traditional family event sort of area. And we have these item frames right here where, once again, more vegetarian items. And I love the addition of like the brewing stand for the idea of this being a tavern. We have some pots with plants here and a really cool looking dining room table that I got off of Pinterest, and I wish I remembered from who. But the scale, as you can see, doesn't fit as tightly into the smaller, more compact scale that I have here. We have some use of the crafter, I think, for the first time right here, just for aesthetics. And I don't know. I like it. Definitely as detailed as could be. But one of my favorite things about this build too is we have a miniature cob, and he's transporting items from this area here, where we actually have a crane here, and he's putting them up into the attic. If we head up into this, if we head up in this area here, we have a really nice, quaint, cozy attic area, and tons of storage where Cobb would be putting away all of the things in this area. And I don't know, it just it's very family feeling and cozy, and I like how it looks. I like how it feels when you're playing in the game too. It is totally immersive, and I think it's one of my favorite things about this world in particular. As we close the door and leave the Jeffrey's Tavern, we can talk a little bit about the lore of this kingdom. So the Kingdom of Lhasa is a recently themed name, but a really rich backstory here. And I wanted a really kind of steampunked theme here, but I wanted this build to feel really lived in too. And I think it really does that with how close quartered everything is and all the life that you see with the people here. And you'll see more of that as we continue in this direction. But I do think that the lore really came from this tavern here. And it came specifically from Etat, who said, and I didn't have a name for the Jeffreys yet, but he said that he really liked the second floor, like the more traditional area. And I wasn't as much of a fan of it. I love the bottom floor. I think it looks so good, but the second floor, I was kind of so-so on. But he said he really liked it, and it was kind of giving the feel of a mom and pop sort of tavern. And I saw that as soon as he said it. It was like, oh my gosh, that is the story that this place right here in particular needs in this world. And so the area that we have down below is for the public, and then we have the traditional area with Cobb the worker over there, and then we have our attic as well. And the Jeffreys, of course, do a lot of business. This place is really packed on the weekends. It's just during working hours. But we can head over here, and this awesome looking build to our left is the Jeffreys house. We can head over to our right, and there's tons of things over in this area here. And we have my first ever custom tree too, which I really like the look of. We have oak and spruce leaves, and then I just tried my best with it, and definitely not a bad first at bat. It fits into the area really well. We have a secret trapdoor that goes into a lot of the inner working farms in this area, and we now have a new area, a new way to get into there over here. But I think it's definitely a nice lookout for the Jeffreys as they make their way over to work. But the Jeffreys, it's just a small little family. But over here, we have, again, a really good looking build. I'm very happy. It's a little bit more Eastern, I feel like, in vibe, but it just fits with the steampunk and the color palette and everything else. And I really like how it looks. Once again, we ended up going with some custom pathing down here. Really a lot more smooth this time. Pretty easy to get up to. And We have more end rods, and this time I actually ended up doing chains right here, which was a fun little, not funny, a fun little way to switch things up. We have more pots over here, and once again, the quartz for the item frames, and I love the addition of the cherry saplings that we have right there. As we head down, you'll see that we have some storage over here, and then we can open the door, and we have a little bit of like a seating area for the family. This place is quite congested, you can see, but I made the most of the area, and we have tons of like furnaces right here that we have with the crafters. And, you know, not too many people in the Jeffries family. We actually only have one bed up here. But the idea is that there's more, okay? Just go with it. That's what I'm going with, at least. And this right here is maybe the most important thing that I have to my name for me in the Lotus SMP. And it's our comment of the day book, where we have so many different questions that have been asked. And I love responding to all of them. I respond to every single one. It doesn't matter how long the video goes. I always make sure that I respond to you guys, as long as it's genuine, I guess. There's maybe been one or two that have been like, are you subscribed to me? And I mean, I can't respond to that. Like that, I don't know. It doesn't feel authentic to me, I would say. But all of these things that we have in here from so many different creators that I love and really look up to as well. So an incredible amount of community in this book. So I love that. And as you can see, as the sun sets, it's just so pretty. It's just so pretty in this area. I love how everything looks. If we head out this door right here, this is what leads to the entrance of our base. And you can see that we have a sign right here that says the Jeffries base. And I like how it looks. I thought I was going to close it. I was like, I hope it does. I just wanted it to for the aesthetic. And man, yeah, just walking around in this area and being able to enjoy it is so soothing. I do kind of have to be quick, and I'm not always that great about getting through the doors here. And sometimes we can have some difficulty if we head through here, but form over function, you could say. We have an extension of the path. This is where things really start to continue, and we will be changing this area a little bit in the future. This is just tons of extra storage, and you can see that we've definitely started to outgrow our storage area here. So we can continue along the path here, and it leads on to Luma's base. If we head over to the right, you'll see that we have a huge column pathway. And I love how it looks. We're going to do something incredible all the way down here in the future, and lead into the area that we were talking about with the FFC. I can't wait for it. But I'm kind of saving it for a 2025 project, just to have things to extra look forward to in Lotus. But right here, this is not my own build, but I do love it. It's from Luma, Stellar Luma, who should be linked in the description. Hopefully Slip remembers to do that post Slip, but is a wonderful streamer and a wonderful builder, as you can see. And she is building this style base and everyone else's color palettes, if they desire, all around the server. And I love it. She did such a good job with it. And we have a cozy little interior, a nice little balcony that leads on to even more things over here. And then one thing that I've actually added is task number 1, which was to build a graveyard, which is actually what we're on our way to very soon. But we can head upstairs, and we have a nice cozy little bed area and a nice lantern overlooking the area that we're going to next. The graveyard, which is something that I'm very proud of, along with this path that we have coming down here. I think it blends into the terrain perfectly right here. We could do more with this birch tree, but you look up here and get the vibe of it. I don't know. It's just, for me, it is so perfect. And you can see that I've definitely continued with the consistency on this path here too, along with the lanterns, and everything really comes together because of it, in my personal opinion. But we continue along with a wonderful pathway. Hopefully I just didn't cut between right there so that you could kind of get the vibe. And an awesome look at our kingdom, yeah, at least from right here. And eventually I'll probably build a very simplistic dock here, but right now I like the openness of the vibe and the feel. So I'm going to stick with it. And coming up right here is something that I really like. It's our graveyard. And you can see that the kingdom even more comes together. The path stops right here for this area, although you can see that our kingdom continues to expand this way. And we do have an entrance from the water, but just not from the path here, and I'm okay with it. But this right here is the Sanctuary Graveyard. The Sanctuary is my Discord. Feel free to come and hang out. We got tons of really awesome people here, such as Golden Recluse, who has been an awesome friend and just supporter of recent. We also have Etat, who I'll say the exact same thing about. These people are really here for me, which is part of the reason that they're here in the world with me and I get to spend time with them somehow. But we have Break the Net as well, and Inca Raids, who I was talking about earlier. And we also have Indiana Animates. Give them a good look right there. I love it. I love how this area has come out. And why not, real quick, just hop on back and take a quick look. You can see, I mean, so much detail in this area. And I don't even think that I'm going to show you guys the things that go on underground. I kind of sniped the landing as well, I would say. But we can continue on, and the path actually extends a good ways over here. Even on the other island bits, I've made sure to do the 2 tall flowers and continue with the lampposts here. We have a nice extra little farm, and I really love putting hay bales in the midst of wheat. It changes up and gives that extra texture that is just really nice to have. And our path continues to slope and then actually curve over here where we have another build of mine. I love how it looks. It looks so cool in my opinion. I think that I did actually really kind of cook with this pathway too. You can still go past it for the most part, but it fits into the slope really well. Yeah, and I'm really just happy I just, went off the top with this, along with this build too. This was not built in creative mode or anything beforehand, but it's a really cool looking bridge. And we've actually expanded the path a little bit. I forgot about this, but over here in this area, we have a miniature Dinesto, Mini Dan, who's fishing over here, right off of the bridge. But to be honest, I'm going to hop into Cheaty Cam real quick because the real look comes from here. You can see that it actually fits into a waterfall. It comes down this area. And oh my gosh, I saw the potential of this area and I want to make a waterfall bridge with all of the flowers behind. I mean, look how many we've just been using. It is really quite insane. But I love the look of it. And this is, all our kingdom area that we have right here. And it looks really cool. And I don't know. Yeah, just it's not the best bridge that I could ever make, but I'm happy with how it came out, at least from the outside. But we can continue the path, and once again, we have all of these flowers that we have coming down here, because the idea going forward very soon is to make a spooky season build, as October is coming up, and I can't wait to do that, but I don't want to do it in this area. So I don't know if we'll get to building a bridge here yet, but we're going to try a new pathway design over in this area. I can't wait for it. You can see that right here on the map, we're getting pretty close to Cobb's area. And not too much work to go, especially with the different design that I'm thinking of doing for the pathway. And we're going to end up making a spooky build maybe somewhere over in this area here. And so just make a cool new pathway over here. And I'm very excited for it, I gotta say. But there's still one thing left for us to go and check out. and it's my most recent build, and I'm very happy with it. But I did just want to say, if you're still here, thank you so much for taking a look at all of the work that I've placed in. I love making these things, and there's a lot more coming, so consider subscribing if you're new and you're still here. But let's go and take a look at our last build so far in 200 hours of our hardcore kingdom. Not the hardcore kingdom, I mean of our just kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, our last build that we've made so far here at the Lotus SMP is Slips Terracotta. You can see that we have an incredible looking windmill and a brand new path design too. I love how it looks. We have terracotta and mud bricks and copper grates and some mud trap doors. And look at all of the different blocks that we ended up using in this design. I feel like I'm starting to run out of talking juice, but we're on to our last build. And so, yeah, we're starting to lose the voice here, but we have some bamboo, and you can see that we have it stuck to its height here on string. And I love how it came out. It looks so cool, and it really gives that extra variance and the texture that the area really needs. And we've continued along here, but one thing actually, if we circle around Slips Terracotta before we talk about the build itself, is that I partitioned it into a circle using these fences and the new fence design too. I've never used it. We have some 2 tall flowers over in this area, and then some more wheat overlooking the countryside on this quarter. And I really like how it looks. And you can see that we have tons of incredible builders that have been also making really cool things on the Lotus SMP as well. So please do consider taking a look at everyone else. We're making really good content and trying our best to do it. But we have a really awesome looking windmill right here with mud, packed mud right here going into some moss. And then our mossy bricks, and then cobblestone into some andesite and some mossy cobble, or some just normal cobblestone, and some bamboo hanging signs right here, which is cool, along with andesite or granite and bricks for our roof. And this was my first time ever trying to make my own windmill, and I'm so happy with how it came out. It looks so cool, in my personal opinion, and the interior looks pretty cool as well. We have all of these different little stations where you can get some terracotta, and some are definitely more filled than others. Don't get me wrong, this is a new shop, as I was saying. But we also have like a prices list right here, where we have a variety box too, and normal prices right here for regular and brown terracotta, and then the other colors as well. And I didn't know that when I opened the book, the trapdoor would go like that, but that's okay with me. But I really like how this came out. I really do. And we have an awesome path design, as I'm saying, and I've never really experimented with the bamboo before. But a lot of this other stuff, maybe I have. We have some of these trapdoors that are holding up some pots with cherry saplings, and man, does it look good. But I've never really used the packed mud and the moss before together, and everything came out really cool. I do like how it looks from afar, and I'm leaving much more area in this mushroom island so that I can do some other shops here in the future, I'm thinking too. But ladies and gentlemen, that is everything that I've accomplished above ground, at least I would say, in 200 plus hours of playing on this Lotus SMP server with all of my good buddies and pals. And you can see what good things can happen when you're playing with other people and really just trying your best to do the best that you can. If you've enjoyed this video and you're excited for another one like this, continue to stay tuned with the main channel episodes. And if you would like to leave a Q&A question in the comments below, I'd love to answer you. Hope that you have a wonderful evening, a wonderful morning, whatever time it be, and I will see you very, very soon.